big tax, clean pasta. Who dropped the track?
And it cuts across all genres. Please get ready for tonight. I'm sure you're ready. We're all ready, and we'll be going to the Silver Star Towers for more here on Newsnight. Newsnight is brought to you by Puma Card from Puma Energy, cash-free convenience. I am Emefa Apawu. Please join me with your comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. And let's start off with this topical issue. Former Black Stars coach's tenure at the helm of affairs has come under the spotlight in the last few hours after the Ghana Football Association dissolved the technical staff of all the national teams. Critics and pundits believe the former coach's lack of leadership and indecisiveness cost him his job. We'll hear from some of them shortly, but first we'll put the microphones to some soccer lovers to share their views about his tenure as coach. Listen to some of them.
He first quotes Article 47.2 of Ghana's.
The reason why Kwesi Appiah was brought has not been achieved. We went to the AFCON and we couldn't perform. People thought the AFCON was an opportunity for us to win another trophy over after we've not been able to do so in many years. But he came on board and we went there and we performed, in my opinion, abysmal. And the objective why he was brought was not achieved.
As for sacking Kwesi Appiah, I think it's not good because we have many coaches have been coached Ghana Black Stars, but no trophy.
Personally, I think it's good decision. His performance is bad, awful.
What were you expecting him to do that he didn't do? For which reason you think he should have been sacked?
At times, like he changes, and when he's on the field, when he's coaching, he will qualify the team all right. But when you go to tournament, they don't have a tournament strategy.
Kwesi Appiah, he has been selfish with the players, selection of the players. I think some of them, the time that he have to let them come to bench, he will still allow them to praise. I think it wasn't fair with Asamajan, with the captainship and all these things. We brought him in so that we can win the cup, but at the end of it, we didn't see anything.
And now the talk about the search for the next Black Stars coach is on. Will it be another local or foreign coach? Listen to what these fans had to say.
The next coach should be able to put up a team that can win games, be good at penalties. You know, penalties is one of our weaknesses as Ghanaian team, and they should be able to fix those little hitches in the team. Who should be the next Black Stars coach? I think it should still be a local coach. In the past, we've spent money on foreign coaches, and they also didn't bring us any.
I think local coach can do better. Even though when you check the history, you see that the foreigners have tried more than the local. But I think we should go in for the local again and see what we'll get.
So if you go and take another foreign coach to Ghana and the person will come and take a huge amount, then we should manage our local coach so that we can get the profit that the coach will take is still in our country. So we get something for Black Stars.
Well, we've been hearing from some of you on whether it should be a local or foreign coach, but the verdict by some football lovers you've heard that. But the story is not too different with pundits and critics of the game. Football administrator Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo believes Kwesi Appiah's lack of command of the dressing room may have been his Achilles' heels. He's also been cautioning the GFA against looking outside the country's borders for replacement for the 59-year-old.
No, you see, Kwesi Appiah, the problem with him that I noticed earlier on is that he might probably have all the experience and technical know-how, but he hasn't got that leadership skills. See, he's a leader. A leader must be said to be a leader. He hasn't got the charisma, he can't command. And if you're a leader, you can't command. You must as well lead the state. You follow me?
Yeah.
So we see day in and day out whenever the boys are having, tournament. That sort of command position cannot be seen at all. But recently we saw what's the name of this boss, this other coach, assisting him, and you see the command position of that other CPA boy is more profound. And that question was just there, And I think that is number one problem. So if you are not born a leader, you can never lead, no matter what you do. That is the biggest problem he had and he still has. Well, it's been there for more than 4 years, and if he has those leadership qualities, we should have seen it by now. Well, I have seen what do you call it? Quite the number of coaches, but they don't have a different approach. But coaches one is a bit of a worry to me. That's the other thing I'm saying. I don't have anyone in mind, but I think I would like to caution the FA if they are thinking about picking another coach. Now, I have seen somewhere on the net that they are thinking of technical assistance from FIFA. They should They should put a stop to it immediately. Well, that will not help. That will not help at all. Now, I say that because once again, it brings my mind back to how African leaders run their government. The same scenario, you have a problem when African leaders have economic problems with their various governments, and what they do eventually is to resort to this so-called IMF to solve their problem. The IMF can never solve this problem.
So that's Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo himself, a former GFA president. So this decision does not only affect the Black Stars, it affects all national teams, including the Black Queens, amongst others. So the search is on, and the talk about who becomes the next Black Stars coach, because we know that there are some qualifiers that they have to go through. But Tamimu Issa, a spokesperson of the GFA, he's been speaking to my colleague Komlado.
This is part of a review process being undertaken by the new administration of the Ghana Football Association, and it's being done at a time where international football is on break. So it's not going to affect the smooth run of the various national teams, particularly the Black Stars.
And at what stage are we in this review process? I mean, are we close to having a new Black Stars coach anytime soon?
Yeah, the Black Stars have a game in March, and once all the technical teams of the various national teams have been dissolved and there is an impending game in 3 months, whatever plan, roadmap that we have, we'll have in mind the Black Stars' next assignment and any assignment of the other national teams.
How close are we to the announcement of a new Black Stars coach?
It's a process, a review process that the new administration started. The next process surely will be to look for replacements or realignments or whatever you may want to call it. But the next phase of it would be to get reappointments or replacements for the various national teams. We can't leave them in vacuum. And once we've announced that the teams have been dissolved, and knowing very well that there are upcoming assignments next few months, then the FA's quest now is to make sure that the vacuums are filled.
Are we looking inwardly or outside the shores of the country?
I can't really say whether it's local or foreign coach. At the end of the day, the vision of the FA is to get us coaches that can take us to the level that we want to be. And these are without focusing only on the Black Stars. All these coaches have contributed in one way or the other to the development of our game. And they are the coaches in our country. Some of them have been in and out of the national team. It doesn't mean that everybody is being asked to go away. And some of the members of the technical teams are experts in their field. We have medical doctors, we have physiotherapists who have been crisscrossing the national teams. Today you find one with the Black Stars, tomorrow one with the Black Meteors, Black Satellite. It's never been a permanent job for any of them. At the end of the day, we want the best for Ghana football, and I believe that whatever decision the FA will take will be in the best interest of Ghana football, regardless of who is managing the national team, whether a local coach or a foreign coach.
I get the sense you're trying to keep it tight, but we've had a caution already coming from Administrator Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo saying you shouldn't look outside the shores of the country, for example.
Well, that would be he's a Ghanaian, and that's his view. That's his opinion, personal opinion. If you ask other Ghanaians, they will also support him, or some will also come with their own views that let's go for this color of coach or let's go for that color of coach. But at the end of the day, the executive council of the FA, who have been elected to administer football for us in consultation with key stakeholders, I believe will make the right decision for Ghana football at all times. Whatever decision you take in appointing a coach, the ultimate is to appoint somebody you believe will take our game forward, will make our national teams stronger. So it's not a matter of a local or a foreign coach or a black or a white coach.
I imagine that the leadership of a playing body, has been officially notified about this.
Yeah, the leadership is represented by Captain Andrea. All communications of the GFA, in this case, such communication to inform the captain would be done by the general secretary or anybody that he assigns, and this is a major decision that I believe the captain will be informed.
You heard there Tamimu Issa, a spokesperson of the Ghana Football Association, speaking to my colleague Komla Adum. There will be more sports shortly because we'll cross over to the Accra Sports Stadium where my colleagues are watching that Kotoko game against Legon Cities FC. And of course, Shatawale is performing as well. So we'll go live there. But let's look at another critical issue because the lecturer at the University of Ghana School of Law, Dr. Abdul Basit Bamba, is demanding the revocation of the law creating the OT region. He has cited the Electoral Commission and President Akufo-Addo for constitutional violations and blunders in the creation, saying a constituency can now be found in 2 regions. The OT region was carved out of the existing Volta region in 2018 after a referendum in the area had received massive endorsement. Dr. Bamba in his article says the exercise may have been one in futility. My colleague Joseph Akable gives us details of that article authored by Dr. Bamba.
He first quotes Article 47.2 of Ghana's constitution that states that no constituency shall fall within more than 1 region. He then explains that the Commission of Enquiry that assessed the extent of interest in the creation of OT region recommended that OT region should comprise Biakoye, Jasikan, Krachi West, Kajebi districts, in Kwanta North and South municipalities, and Santrofi, Akpafu, Likpe, and Lolobi traditional areas. Some of these areas, he states, by virtue of a 2012 constitutional instrument, fell within the Hohoi constituency of the Volta region. He concludes that by the inclusion of these traditional areas in the OT region, it now means that the Hohoi constituency straddles or falls within OT and Volta regions, which he says is in contravention of the constitutional provision.
Now, how does he recommend resolution of this legal blunder, like he puts it?
And so 2 things. He wants the president to revoke the OT region instrument 2019, that is constitutional instrument 112, and then restart the entire process towards the creation of the OT region.
Now, that's my colleague Joseph Akable giving us portions of that article authored by Dr. Bamba. And looks like it's just part 1 of the blunders that he hopes to point out. I've been joined on the phone, thankfully, by a member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee of Parliament, as well as he's also a member of the Judiciary Committee, Mr. Roxon Nelson Dahwamakbo. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. We know that this is not the first time that this issue is coming up. The people of Lolobi and Akpafu, for instance, are in court with the EC over this particular matter. But I've been wondering, how did this escape all of us?
Is that Jifa?
This is Emefa.
Emefa, thank you very much. Happy New Year to your listeners and to the entire nation.
Many happy returns.
It did not escape us. This matter had been raised in different fora with the Electoral Commission. You know, if you look at Article 45, which details the functions of the Electoral Commission, they have the power to delimit the boundaries of constituencies and electoral areas. You know, if you go to Article 46, it talks about the independence of the Electoral Commission, the performance of its functions. Now, before, in the course of the creation of the new region, the issue of what they call Loba, Lolobi, Akpafu, and let me call you, there are 4 traditional areas. The issues were raised with the Electoral Commission is that there is no way, with the creation of the new region, they have had to remain with the Hokwe constituency as well as district. But the Electoral Commission ignored these matters, and these are constitutional provisions. In fact, even the Local Government Act states to the effect that no two constituencies should fall, or no constituency should fall even in two districts. How much more in two regions, where a constituency is not supposed to fall or even straddle the boundaries of two districts? How, for instance, is it possible that a constituency will now straddle regional boundaries? So as we speak, there are certain people who are in court and challenging this decision by the Electoral Commission. But as has become customary to the responses of the present commissioners of the Electoral Commission, they just don't give a damn. And it is worrying, because you see what my former lecturer, Dr. Basit Bamba, is raising is a constitutional matter. It is not as if he's gone to sit somewhere and crafted this matter. He says that what the Electoral Commission has done is in breach of a constitutional provision. And you see persons defending this matter to the extent that they allowed persons from the lobby Apawu and there's another traditional area to vote in Hawaii during the just ended district level election. Meanwhile, the people went to court before the 17th of December. So if today we consider a provision of the Constitution be bastardized in the manner that the Electoral Commission seeks to do, then we are running ourselves into dangerous times.
But Dr. Bamba seemed to have a cure for this situation. He's asking for the revocation of CIY12 and restarting the processes for the creation of an OT region that is obviously not riddled with such obvious legal blunders, he puts it. But how feasible is that?
Yes, Emefa, if I were him, I will pray the same prayer before a court of law. But what I can say, sitting where I sit as a member of parliament, is that it is rather better or more convenient and more economically more beneficial to the country for the Electoral Commission to say that they are hiving off the Lulubi and the Ayuma areas of the Hokwe constituency and join them with the Biakuya or the Buem constituency, which capital is Jasikan, so that you don't have to reverse the creation of a whole region, but you can by constitutional instruments redraw the boundaries of a constituency to the extent that the areas that fall within outside of the regional boundaries of that constituency will now fall into the boundaries of another constituency in another region. Because people have asked the question, how is it possible that Lolobi, which is now in OT region, but exists as part of the Hokwe constituency and Hokwe municipality? How is that possible?
Well, it remains a matter that we're hoping, because this is a matter that also that Parliament or your committee should be interested in. Is there anything that you're looking at when it comes to this issue?
My sister, this matter has gone beyond my committee, because the subsidiary legislative committee, which deals with the when constitutional instrument that CIs are laid before it, raised the matter. But the Electoral Commission became so intransigent. They ignored it to the extent that they passed the CI, which led to the holding of the district level elections in these areas. And registrants had to travel across regional boundaries to Hokwe to come and vote. Or votes conducted in areas that fell outside of the voter region were counted as part of the constituency votes of Hokwe, which falls within the voter region. This is the absurd situation that confronts all of us. So I agree with my lecturer, Dr. Basit Bamba, that yes, something must be done about it. But where I think the remedy lies is the fact that the decision must be taken to hive off the area that falls outside of the water region as constituting part of the Buem constituency, which capital is just Sikan, so that all these matters can be resolved.
We're grateful for your time. That's Roxin Dafiamokbo. He's a member of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee as well as the Judiciary Committee of Parliament. Of course, we've tried to speak to the Electoral Commission on this particular issue. They tell us that portions of this particular issue is in court, so they are unable to speak to it. We're also working the lines to speak to the Regional Integration, Reorientation, and of course the Development Ministry to speak to Mr. Dan Butchie on this matter also. It's also been unsuccessful. As and when we are able to do so, we'll bring that to you. But let's head to the Ashanti region, because frustrations and challenges have characterized the Ghana card registration in the region. Some applicants have to endure long queues amid allegations of extortion by registration officials. The NIA boss, Ken Atifwa, says claims of extortion by registration officials have come to his attention that persons found culpable will be punished. We'll be hearing from him, but first, here are some applicants who are not happy with the process.
I came here on Tuesday evening around 11 to 12. We slept here. Then the next day we joined the queue. But yet we haven't get it and we are still on the queue.
I've been here since Monday. I've been coming. Today is my 4th time. But today I came very early. It was around 4 a.m. But since then, I've been feeling cold. They gave me a number. I've been here and still, I'm not able to write my name. So I don't even know if I'll be able to write today. So I'm still waiting. I'm still in the queue. The queue is not moving. It's just choked. I don't know what is going to happen today.
My colleague Ohiming Teria has more on the situation in this report.
Executive Secretary of the NIA, Professor Ken Atifwa, blames indisciplined registration officials and failure of the public. He called into Love in the Morning, hosted by David Akwete, to pour out his frustration.
The system itself is not slow, but the processes by which we Ghanaians are conducting ourselves. Ghanaians, beginning with some of my staff, who, as I hear, are engaging in rent-seeking behavior, creating artificial shortages, demanding bribes, exploiting people's desire to get the car, painful experiences of putting Ghanaians through needless hardship. So people are going to queue, some, I understand, overnight, like from 10 p.m. until the next morning. And when they get there, the disruptive conduct of some of my staff, as well as some prospective applicants or bystanders who go to the centers to create confusion. There is a mix of factors that relate to issues of indiscipline and corruption that are affecting us.
Professor Atifwa cannot understand the registration challenges in view of the level of personnel and equipment deployed for the exercise in the region.
The complaints coming from Ashanti region are huge. Yes, this is the most populous region, and you know something, in Ashanti region, we have put about 5,400 machines. By the time we were getting to Ashanti, by a mix of coincidence and other factors, Ashanti region, we were ready to inject over 5,000 machines. We have so many people properly trained to do the work to make the experience much better, much smoother than in any other region. All the other regions, we had about just 1,050 machines. In Ashanti region, we have over 5,000. We have opened 833 centers. In all the other regions, we couldn't open a maximum of 350 centers. So this should be a much better, smoother experience.
Amid the frustrations, Professor Atifwa is encouraging people to report misconduct of unpatriotic registration officials to security agencies or NIA office for immediate attention.
It bleeds my heart that Ghanaian young persons recruited, trained, and paid at public expense and charged with the responsibility of managing a process for which they have been properly trained and mismanaging the process the way some of them are mismanaging. It's heart bleeding. And the only thing we can do about it is to have the benefit of citizen vigilance and reportage to the appropriate authorities. The police are there, the BNI, And of course, NIA has published all its numbers through you, the media.
Meanwhile, the NIA has extended the registration period by 1 week to make up for the lost days during the Christmas holidays. From Kumasi, for Joy News, Ohiminteria reporting.
Now, tension is mounting in Taha, a community in the Sanorogu municipality in the northern region of a chieftaincy title. Some youth earlier today barricaded the roads leading to the community amidst burning of tires. According to a youth chief, Boglana Yipilna, who spoke to Joy News, says the cane makers had received kola nuts from both the Nantongulana and Yipilna family. They have allegedly also received kola prices from the Nangtongna Mohammed Bawa, who was recently skinned the chief of Nangtong. The youth chief, Boglana Yipilna, is warning the situation could lead to the creation of more confusion in the area.
There's a different grades in Taha community here. We also said that they also go to the one which the one that they give Nantong to, which is at Sanaru. They also go to him and also take Taha kola. We also be at Taha chief. So and then we said that we cannot have two chiefs at the same community. That is why we called them, that was Thursday meeting, to tell them that we are one people. There is no need for us to fight. Let's solve this issue. And after the meeting, they said they will not understand. And then the priest of this land, he sent elders and made this in the chief of the one that they gave Nantong to, the one who is Adnar. Tell him that what he's going to do is going to cause confusion in this community. And then he said he will not listen to what he said. And then we also said, we are here, can't wait for you to cause problem for us. We have to fight for ourselves, because we are going to give it to them to come here and bring the conflict to us. But for us, we also do our best to protect ourselves, our children, our wives, our mothers, our fathers.
So another youth chief, Yahya Abdul Fattah, says it is time for the Agay to take over after the Yipona family's 3 consecutive year reign.
The chieftaincy, the problem here is not caused by any other person, but by the immediate past of former Tahna Palace. There happen to be those who who were the custodians, who occupied the stool for the name of Taha, and unfortunately, their elder brother, in the person of Tahna Bukar, passed on. That was early this year or last year. Yes. And the funeral was performed. We all moved to Nantong to get a new chief for Taha community. When we went to Nantong, by then it was the regent of Nantong. He's the current Yavona. He was occupying the Nantong Namship. We went to him, questions were asked. Indeed, the good people of Taha and Council of Elders of Nantong Nas Palace, they all gave their solid and accurate information to the former regent of Nantong.
So that's another youth chief, Yahya Abdul Fattah. We're told that there was a security council meeting earlier today over this particular issue. We were still working the lines to be able to speak to the police on this matter. But my colleague Martina Bugri has been monitoring the situation in Sanorogu and joins us on the line with details. So Martina, what's the situation now as we speak?
The situation is calm. The police were deployed there this afternoon. I spoke to a police chief in the region here. He says that 3 people have been arrested. The assemblyman and 2 other people have been arrested. The place is calm now. The police are still there, and he says that the number has increased from what they sent earlier on. I must also add that my sources are that a temporal ban has been put on any chieftaincy and skinment in the area, depending on whilst they review things. And they say until Nantong, they resolve the issue in Nantong, all these other chieftaincy titles should be suspended for now, because it's a security issue in the region.
But help us understand, though, because we've been trying to find out why there are several vacant skins, but yet we have two chiefs for each skin. How is that?
What happened was the Nantong skin was vacant, and the Yana and skin the Nabawa as the Nantong chief. And a different person currently is occupying the skin. That's the Zo Salilana, and he has refused to vacate the skin. And so they have 2 people claiming the Nantong skin. Now they have other chiefs who passed on, and they need to perform their funerals, and then they would skin new chiefs. And so while Nabawa is giving cola, the Rosali is also giving cola. And so it means that they will be having 2 chiefs in each community that they need to skin chiefs.
Well, that's my colleague Martina Bugri bringing us the very latest from that situation in Sanarigu. And it's time now to join George Yafe with the latest from the world of business. I know you're getting ready for tonight. But what's in business?
Well, coming up in business, the Finance Ministry launches an investment account aimed at attracting capital from the diaspora. I'll tell you more on the Sankofa investment account targeted at those in the diaspora, all about the year of return and what government is doing to attract more than just a visit. And also government is targeting a little over 19 billion cedis in issuance of bonds and securities, as well as treasury bill for the first quarter of this year. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
So everyone says I'm a Kosia filler, but it's not like I'm nosy or go out to find out the latest filler. It's just that I get 50 megabytes of data free after paying for only the first minute of every call. And so I just keep discovering stuff minute after minute. That's how come I was minding my business, scrolling through my timeline, and I found out Coco has a new baby. Oh, and last week I learned Ken won the lottery. You see, Ken is my brother's friend. So hello, look who's about to roll with the rich and famous.
Enjoy even more value with MTN Free After One. You only pay for the first minute of your call on MTN Free After One, and the rest is free. Plus, you enjoy free 50 megabytes worth of data to browse your favorite sites. Compare where, compare there. So dial *315# to sign up. We day for you everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply.
As 2019 comes to a close and the festivities set in, we would like to thank you for partnering with us this year. In the world of First National Bank Ghana, your business is our business. And we trust that this last year has seen opportunities unlocked, innovation enabled, and growth gained. Make 2020 hold even more for you. We look forward to sharing it with you. And so, a mindful, meaningful, and happy holiday to you. Best wishes, First National Bank, Ghana.
We give you nothing but the best, we stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
At the count of 3, I want everybody in the place to be to make some noise if you're down with me. 1, 2, 3.
It's time to take you back to the 90s. It's time for the joy of the 90s jam. Over 10,000 watts of sound power. Blasting your favorite 90s hits. DJ Black, DJ Sammy Fawcett, and other guest DJs will blast you up this Friday, 3rd January 2020 at the rooftop of the Silver Star Tower Airport. Rate 60 cities per person. Time is popping up at 9 p.m. Can you do the Hummer? Can you do the Running Man? Can you do the Buggle? The joy of the 90s jam, sponsored by glycol will cushion you for life. Alomo Bitters, Vital Mineral Water, pure, rich and natural. The Joy FM 90s Jam this Friday, the first Jam of the year 2020, rooftop of Silver Star Tower Airport. Yeah!
Well, I said the massive one come in. I know the theory is back for the dance and same. I know the massive come here for let dance and flame. Mister, hey.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the Finance Ministry has launched an investment product specifically targeted at Ghanaians in the diaspora as well as other Africans, the African Sankofa, which will be operated like an investment and savings product. Is jointly going to be managed by the Bank of Ghana and the Finance Ministry. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta tells Joy Business they are optimistic of using the product to attract more capital into the country.
It's not revenue for us so much as to structure the way in which these resources come so that they can be used, for major things. I think it's an exciting opportunity, and really if we look at the African American market or the Caribbean diaspora added to even Africans who are outside, and if Ghana using the AFCFTA becomes a regional hub and international financial services center, that's an incredible amount of resource for us, and we're looking forward to tapping into that.
Tourism Minister on her part, Barbara Otenges, is also excited about the fact that the Finance Ministry is planning to use the proceeds to support infrastructure, especially some in the tourism areas.
Throughout the Year of Return campaign, we have always engaged our visiting global family on opportunities for investments in Ghana. And I think this account being initiated by the Ministry of Finance is going to give them the opportunity to do that, because we realize that it's not every person who comes to Ghana who has the resources, the entire resources to invest in a major project. But each person has a little disposable income that they are willing to make available into the large frame of what we seek to do. So through this savings account, I think is going to give opportunity for all the members of the Global African family to invest in Ghana.
Are you comforted by what the minister is also talking about, that they'll be looking at somewhere infrastructure? And I know the one bit on your heart is tourism infrastructure, because people, the complaints that comes to you every day, what are you doing about this? What are you doing about this? How excited are you by this that the minister has spoken about, that possibly looking at investing in the tourism infrastructure?
Definitely, we are excited about it. It's going to make additional resources available for investment into the tourism sector, because the tourism sector has immense potential for contribution to the economy. But in order to derive utmost benefit from it, you need to also put in some investment. And we know that government resources, there's so much demand on it, so we need to bring in fresh investment, and through this account we are going to have some money coming in, and a percentage of that definitely is going to go to tourism.
Are you going to play any role in also marketing it as well, to let people appreciate the benefit of this account and that they need to bring in the capital?
Definitely we are, because we have already started, as I indicated, through the investment forum that we engage people in. We always talk about investing in Africa. You don't need to come back to stay. You come and visit. This is your home. There's an opportunity for you to invest in the country.
And that's the Tourism Minister, Barbara Otenges. So let's still stay on the issues relating to Year of Return, because a Ghanaian living in the US is entreating foreign businesses in the country to have the mindset of developing Ghana's economy rather than selling the country's repackaged raw materials to citizens for high premium. Now, Kofi Jemfi, who was speaking to Joy Business, has actually launched a book aimed at helping to actually deal with the problem of investments in the country, as well as how Ghanaians can also help develop the economy. It is speaking to Joy Business.
We're moving product and artwork and just things of creativity of nature at Pesawas, and in fact we should be selling them at a premium here, right? Instead of selling the plantain chips on the street for one city, find out which countries like plantain the most and start exporting them to the countries, UK, to the States at a premium. So instead of selling it for one Pesawa or one city, you're selling it for $1 USD. The second thing is there are entrepreneurship within Ghana, is that there are are a lot of foreign people that own here, which is okay with any country, but they should know they should be supporting the Ghanaian, any Ghanaian initiative. They should come to this country with the understanding, at the end of the day, I'm here to build up the Ghanaian economy because I'm eating off of their land. There should be nobody that comes here, takes from our land, and then sell it back to us at a premium. That is just rape. That's highway robbery.
And that's a Ghanaian Kofi James, a Ghanaian living in the United States of America, who's launched a book game that helping to deal with the mindset of Ghanaians and how to develop the economy. Now, government is working to issue a little over 19 billion Ghana cedis in bonds, treasury bills and securities for the first quarter of this year. Now, out of this amount, 15.7 billion Ghana cedis will be rollover debts that are maturing. Now, if you go through that, this was contained in the calendar issued by government covering its borrowing requirement for the first quarter of this year. If you go through that calendar, government is planning to issue a 7-year paper aimed at raising 900 million Ghana cedis, as well as a 20-year paper targeted at raising 287 million Ghana cedis. If you turn attention to the stock market, gold was actually up by 4 pesos today to close at 1 Ghana cedis 74 pesos. That's all for business on Newsnight as we get ready for the 90s jam, and I'm going to be in my bandana, just reliving, reliving Tupac. You understand?
What's your favorite 90s jam? A lot of them.
Just struggling of choice to choose which one, being for it. I mean, Tupac Changes, Dear Mama. I like that one as well. Loco. I mean, I think he's the. Kali, he's a legend. I mean, I think Tupac is a legend.
But you love choral music, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, some Papa and Mati.
Okay. And then, well, let's take you to Takrady at this point, because Komla Adom and Mapitso Sibidi are telling us about the Angels. I call them the Angels. And they were in Takrady, and they are a group of young people using their voices and skill on the instrument to make music that uplifts the spirit and comforts the soul. Here's their report.
At age 5, I was probably too young to even figure out how not to put my right shoe on my left leg.
I was learning how to string my sentences together. I don't even remember.
Well, for 5 and 6-year-olds who are members of a Takrady-based 16th Angelic Choir and Orchestra, it is an opportunity to begin a career in music right from the ground up.
Kwesi Esil Ahinkra is music director and conductor.
We have from 6 upwards. So you can imagine we have the teens, 12, 18, but the youngest in we have the children's choir. Yeah, the youngest will be around 8 years, and the eldest will be around like 16. Yeah.
Formed in August 2013, the interdenominational group has taken on the challenge to nurture young talents in classical and choral music.
The orchestra, made up of members between 5 and 15 years, coupled with the youth and adult choirs, have held over 15 concerts since they were formed.
Our rounds during the festive period in Takrady took us to one of their concerts, Wawo Ajinkwa 2019, to wit, The Savior Has Been Born. It is an annual concert held by the choir and orchestra.
President of the group is Joseph Kingsley Amosa. He's just led the group to perform a composition he made.
I did this composition called The Prophecy. and it's a cantata. This is just sacred text mingled with music. So we are trying to retell the birth of Jesus Christ in our own way. That's what we did, and it's a full orchestration. I did something for the piano section, the whole orchestra, the choir, and the children's choir.
Not singers.
Of course not. But we're told the 16th note in music, the quiver, scares musicians a lot.
That inspired the name 16th Angelic Choir. The group says it is motivated to make that which scares musicians easy.
At the 2019 edition of their concerts, the group treated patrons to a repertoire of performances.
This was a different kind of music concert. Young people showing off their mastery of violin, the harp, the flute, and the like.
And of course, listening to the sweet voices.
This patron was as mesmerized as we were.
I'm impressed. I'm perplexed. In fact, I'm beside myself because this is a clear definition of what we call singing.
For the musical ear, this was a masterful performance.
This is Ghana's best singing group in Takoradi. You watch the show, you watch the orchestra, you watch the children's choir. There's no other performance that could be compared to what we witnessed here. This is a clear definition, a typical definition of what we call quality voice singing.
For the ordinary music lover, even more gratifying.
I can compare it to what Handel's, the one who wrote Messiah and others, did. And I think it's a great piece of work. I really enjoyed it.
This choir and orchestra hopes to take their craft outside Takoradi.
Very, very refreshing. That's a report put together by my colleague Komla Adom and Mapitso Sabidi. Their Christmas in Tadi, of course. And we're picking some information about a massive shakeup in the police hierarchy. Of course, our ears and eyes are on the ground, and we'll bring you some more information as and when we get some concrete information from there. But let's do sports now, and my colleague Benedict Owusu joins us from the Accra Sports Stadium. That game between Legon Cities and Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Benedict, tell us what's the situation at the Accra Sports Stadium.
Well, it's done of a very charged atmosphere. As I speak to you now, we are done with the first half. And Legon Cities, as I was telling you the last time, I mean, they've taken the Accra Stadium by storm. Their support and everything is amazing. It's one that you need to be here to watch out. And if you look at everything that they've done today, it's simply amazing. For the very first time in so many years that we've been playing Ghana Premier League in this country, playing under floodlights on a Friday night with the attendance and the number of people here at the stadium, you may think that is a Kumasi Asante Kotoko Accra hard-to-fought game, but let me tell you something. This is a Legon Cities game against Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and as I mentioned, we've done the first 45 minutes and it's 1-1.
And it's 1-1, you say?
Yes.
Okay, and has Shatawale performed already?
Shatawale, as I speak to you now, is here performing live. Before this game, he mentioned that he's a number one fan of Legon City. So he's at the stadium currently, as I speak to you, performing today. The numerous fans that made their way to the stadium. And
you say the stadium is packed to capacity?
It is packed to capacity, but you know the Accra Stadium is 40,000. And if you want to show this Accra Sports Stadium, it will take a bit of work. But I've been very much impressed. On a Friday night, with the number of people at the stadium, more than half of the stadium is, occupied, and it's very, very impressive. Looking at the promotion they did, everything about this game, the vibe, and with the number of people here, with Shatawale talking about it on social media, and also the Legon City is doing some massive social media work as well as Asante Kotoko. It tells you that yes, they did some amazing work in getting the number of people that we currently have at the stadium. A lot more people after work made their way here. Ordinarily Friday nights people would want to go to places to have fun. But on a Friday night like this, where driving into the Accra Sports Stadium, you get a lot of people coming, traffic everywhere. Then it tells you that they've done a lot of work coming into this, very important Ghana Premier League game. Okay,
Benedict, from there we'll meet at the Silver Star Towers for the 90s Jam, and of course I'm sure you're getting ready.
Absolutely. It's party after party, so game after party,
Okay, so we'll be waiting for you. That's a Benedict Owusu with the latest from the world of sports, live from the Accra Sports Stadium. And like I said, we're getting ready for the 90s Jam. Is happening at the Silver Star Towers in a bit. Everything is underway, and my colleague Ifwa Evans Chinri has seen it all from the beginning of the setting up of the speakers and everything up until now. Here's her report. Read to you.
The 2020 edition of the Joy FM 90s Jam, as it has been over the years, is set to bring Accra to a standstill. If you followed the era of hip-hop, R&B, reggae, hip life and the rest, the Silver Star Towers is the only place to be tonight, as patrons will be chilled with songs from the likes of Snoop Dogg, Tupac, MC Hammer and other chart toppers. The 90s gave music lovers a wide repertoire of chart-topping artists and songs that are still being enjoyed. Adam Naite is the head of talk, entertainment and religious programs at Joy FM. She says patrons should expect nothing but the best.
90s Jam is always like the official party that begins the new year for us, and so this year we're looking to giving people a whole new experience. So we're just asking people to come. I mean, if you look at the background a little bit, you know that we have something new. We're adding a very new touch to it and just trying to get our listeners very excited. So we're asking people to come this evening. Just come and jam the year away. I mean, yeah, come and jam to begin the new year, and we're hoping that it will be fun as always. The only thing that's constant in this world is change, right? So a little bit of twist here and there. So we have people we give people a certain area, an experience when you dance and you're tired. There are some people who come and they just want to hang around, sit down, listen to the music, sip on some drinks. So we have all that happening, and then we move the dance floor to the other side. You still have your kebabs, your beers, your spirits, everything. Nothing is missing. We just switched the venues, the dance floor and then the experience center. But then it's an all new different thing, and we're hoping that you would love it and enjoy yourself. So we're ready for tonight? Oh yes. Don't ask me to sing. Don't ask me to dance. We'll do that when we come here this evening. Do you remember this song, Salt and Pepper Soup?
the back, brother. Wanna thank your mother for a butt like that. Can I get some fries with the shake, shake, booby? If looks could kill, you would be an Uzi or a shotgun. Bang! What's the
dancing to more of these tunes from the 90s. There's the Running Man, there's the Shoe, there's a lot more. So do join us tonight at the Silver Star Tower. Everything is set. Yes, we're ready to jam the night away tonight at the Silver Star Tower.
Hey, yeah, I wanna shoot, baby, shoot.
Ooh, how you doing, baby? No, not you. You, the bow-legged one. Yeah. What's your name? Damn, baby.
And that's not all. My colleague Maxwell Agbagba has the best of the mix in terms of the best 90s. Listen.
In Zion, there is no night there. Hallelujah, there is no night there.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it nice and sweet and sexy.
head to the Silver Star Towers. So like I said, we're getting some information about a massive shakeup in the police hierarchy, at the top hierarchy of the police service. Our sources, reliable sources, telling us that, of course, DCOP Ken Yeboah is now the CID boss, replacing Director General of the CID, Madam Tiwa Adodankwa. We're also hearing information that Tiwa Adodankwa is now heading to the Director of Welfare of the Ghana Police Service, also Director General of Public Affairs of the Police Service. DSP Eklu, OACP Eklu, is now heading to the police hospital as the hospital administrator. We'll bring you more on Joy News Prime shortly. Also, stay tuned here to Joy 99.7 FM. We'll give you all the information you need about the massive shakeup in the police service. Like I said, DCOP Ken Yeboah is now the Director General of the CID. COP Ken Yeboah, I beg your pardon. COP Ken Yeboah is now the CID boss. Well, Mamitiwa Adodankwa has been transferred to head of welfare of the police service. Director General of Public Affairs of the police service, ACP David Eklu, is now heading to the police hospital as the hospital administrator. There's more on Joy News Prime on Multi TV.
Keep the frequency clear.
99.7
Joy.